You're watching Fox 10 Phoenix now.
Today is expected to be a very busy travel day, and it comes just after that Christmas chaos at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport after some sort of family dispute turned into a stabbing and a shooting.
Dominique Newland live at the airport with an update on everything that took place over the night. Hey, Dominique, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Way different scene here at Phoenix Sky Harbor compared to just 24 hours ago. Just yesterday morning when we were here live, the public couldn't even be here. It was closed off. There was crime scene tape up, evidence markers on the ground, investigators taking photos that just completely closed off to the public due to that active crime scene investigation. But as you can see, airport operations, they are back to normal this morning. And we do have an update for you on really what transpired late Christmas night. So according to police, they say that the violent altercation stemmed from a family fight. 3 adults and 2 teenagers were involved. One of the adults opened fire, hitting a woman and a teenage boy, who then stabbed the man who shot them. Another man suffered minor injuries, and the woman does remain in critical condition. The other 3 have been released from the hospital. And we also have more information about the man who was arrested by Phoenix police, unrelated to the violence that had happened just before. So he's been identified as Cole Ninon. Police say the 21-year-old from Scottsdale went to the airport with several guns after a relative told him about the shooting. He handed the weapons to other people, and then when approached by an officer, he started yelling. Police say that the 21-year-old would not listen to commands. He then spat on an officer and struck him. He was later booked for aggravated assault, and 3 guns were also impounded. So right now at this hour, we still don't know the names of those that were involved in that first altercation I was talking about that included 5 people. We still don't even know why the fight began, as well as any charges that have been filed. So this is still a developing story. We'll of course keep you posted as that information does come into the newsroom. But as you can see here, guys, things are back to normal, luckily, here at Phoenix Sky Harbor. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Dominique Newland live at Sky Harbor. Great report. Dominique, thank you so much. So as we mentioned, and Dominique did as well, the Christmas chaos there at Sky Harbor Airport coming as we gear up for another big holiday travel weekend. The TSA is anticipating today will be one of the busiest at airports around the country as folks return from their Christmas trips and then continue some of those travel plans and head out to New Year's destinations. 40 million passengers expected to be screened between today and December 30th. AAA projects that a total of 119 million are expected to travel at least 50 miles or more through New Year's Day. So will the weather cooperate? Crystal has a look at the travel forecast on this Friday. Hey, Crystal.
Does it ever cooperate? Really? That is the question. Take a look at Fox Vision. You can see there are a few storms out there. Nothing major, but enough that I think there'll probably be a couple delays because of it. So 2 to talk about. First to the west, where you can see, look at all that snow that is moving through parts of Nevada, Utah, Idaho, and Oregon. In that area, if you have a flight plan that goes through there, or that's where you're heading, certainly could see some issues today. And then this line of some kind of stronger thunderstorms is moving through parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, and into parts of Mississippi and Alabama as well. So what's going to happen here is that moisture is going to continue to trek to the east, and again could cause a few issues. So your holiday travel today, you can see where the wet weather is stretching from Chicago down to the Gulf. Some concerns, and then that snow really troublemaker from Salt Lake City up to Boise. Tomorrow it's not much different, but that rain does start to strengthen further south. So parts of Texas, Louisiana could also be in on maybe a few delays. If you're driving though, I think you're pretty good. 17 to Flagstaff, smooth sailing. 10 to Los Angeles, smooth sailing. 40 to Albuquerque today, tomorrow. Could see a spot shower or 2, but I think overall you'll be fine if you're hitting the roads. We'll talk more about the forecast if you're staying here for New Year's coming up.
All right, Crystal, thank you. Time now 7:05. We're now learning that a shooting at an apartment complex in Ahwatukee has turned deadly.
Yeah, it was quite the scene as well. Police and paramedics on scene yesterday afternoon. Here's a look at the ambulance near Point Parkway and Guadalupe. Police say a man who had been shot died from his injuries. Another man and woman were found nearby with non-life-threatening injuries. We did speak to folks living at the complex who witnessed the whole thing.
Usually there's fireworks that go off in this area, but it definitely wasn't fireworks.
Well, police have not released any details on any possible suspects or what may have led up to the shooting. We take you to southern Arizona now. The Pima County Sheriff's Department believes a Good Samaritan was murdered while trying to help someone having some car trouble.
Yeah, pretty scary and sad story. This happened Christmas Eve. Deputies believe the suspect went to 53-year-old Paul Clifford's house asking him for help. He then took off with that suspect to go try and allegedly help him. But when Paul didn't return home, his family called deputies. They then found Paul dead near a smoldering vehicle on a rugged, remote dirt road miles from his house.
It's very far. It's very remote, and to get out there, it takes a specific vehicle. I think you can get there in a regular two-wheel drive vehicle, but it's going to be very slow going.
Deputies later found a stolen car related to the investigation at an apartment building on the city's west side. Investigators are asking anyone with information about the crime to contact law enforcement.
It was a not so great here holiday for a family in Laveen whose 3 dogs were stolen on Christmas Day.
Yeah, the 3 French bulldogs were taken not far from 51st Avenue and Baseline. The owner says the dogs were accidentally let out. He went chasing after them. That's when he saw a vehicle pull up and take the dogs. The owner chased after those individuals in that vehicle, but obviously couldn't catch up to him in the car.
These are my dogs that I've had since the day they were born, and yeah, I've had them since the day they were born. I've taken care of them since the day they were born. I've had all of them since the day they were born.
Well, the family that says the vehicle that took the dogs was a blue Chrysler 300. They are offering a $2,000 reward for the dog's return. They say no questions asked. They're not going to press any charges if those dogs do return home safely.
A pedestrian is hit and killed on a Northwest Valley freeway. It was yesterday afternoon on the Loop 303, and here is a look at some of the ADOT video that we have of what took place near Peoria Avenue in the Loop 303 again. DPS says the victim may have been picking up a ladder at the time. The crash leading to a big traffic backup in the northbound lanes. We don't have much information about the victim. It is also not clear if the driver who hit the victim will face charges.
Another crash to tell you about. Look at this, a T-bone collision shutting down streets in Chandler yesterday afternoon. The wreck happened near Kyrene and Ray roads. Those roads and other nearby streets were closed for several hours as police investigated what led up to this crash. We're told one person was found unresponsive inside their vehicle. Paramedics took that victim to the hospital. It's still not clear what led up to the crash.
On the Loop 202 yesterday afternoon, heavy traffic after a semi-truck flips over, blocking several lanes. This is pretty uncommon here in the valley, even with so many people that are driving here through our valley streets. Southbound lanes near Buckeye Road. We don't know how badly the driver may have been hurt or what caused the rollover. Developing in the East Valley, the Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, well, it's flying into the new year with a new name.
Yeah, that's right. The Airport Authority Board voting to drop Phoenix from its name. It's renaming the airport Mesa Gateway Airport effective immediately. The board says the new name reflects the airport's role in serving the growing East Valley. Last fiscal year, the airport reported serving nearly 2 million passengers.
Happening today, winter waves return to a popular spot in Tempe. It's been there a while, and if you're from Tempe, maybe you grew up going to this place. We're talking about the Kanas Wave Pool.
And if you are visiting the valley from out of state and thinking it's too cold to swim, well, guess what? You can always go here. The pool is indoors and it's heated. The wave pool will be open from 1 to 5 p.m. through Sunday. This is all in the area of College Avenue and Guadalupe Road. There will also be a holiday-themed coloring stations, games, activities to celebrate the season. Admission is just $4 for kids aged 2 to 12 and $5 for anyone 13 and older, and kids under 2. Well, they're free.
The Fiesta Bowl coming up on New Year's Eve, but before the Penn State Lions here take on the Boise State Broncos at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, there is a Fiesta Bowl parade. This is a family tradition for so many of you here in the Valley of the Sun. Plenty of bands, those marching bands, been practicing for months, floats, and a whole lot more celebrating the college football playoff game being played in the Valley. The 2-mile march will take place in Central Phoenix tomorrow morning, beginning at 10 a.m. near Central and Bethany Home Road, and then it will end. It'll travel south to Camelback and then to 7th Street. That's where it will end. During halftime of the Rate Bowl, they received $2,500 for their classroom through a Fiesta Bowl scholarship. The money can be used to buy any supplies they need to help children learn. One of the recipients, she shared with us, she knows exactly how to spend the cash.
I ordered 19 wobble desks or wobble chairs and 19 desks to go with them. And they have been shown, research shows that students who can move around have a better chance of being successful because they're not so rigid in a desk. And I should be getting those sometime in late January.
What these teachers do with all of this money really enriches the classrooms. My son, when he was in 3rd grade, his English teacher received the money. She was a recipient. We didn't know till later, but she completely funded a library for her classroom.
Oh, that's cool.
And so you never know how a lot of these scholarships really help, and it's really incredible. They have now been given to teachers every year since 2016.
Well, don't forget that Fox 10 is going to be your home for all things ASU as they head to Atlanta to play in the Peach Bowl. The Sun Devils are taking on Texas in the college football playoff game on New Year's Day, and we have you covered. Megan Klain and Robbie Baker will be in Atlanta for the big game with plenty of coverage leading up to kickoff. It all starts on Monday. Time now, 7:37, new in the Valley. With women's sports rising in popularity, 2 local bar owners are hoping to capitalize on the trend.
Yeah, women like brew too.
There you go.
Yes, we do. They're opening Phoenix's first female sports bar. Audrey Corley, owner of Boycott Bar, and Catherine Moore, the owner of Shortleaf Hot Dogs and Tap Room. Both of these spots are right in the heart of Melrose District in North Central Phoenix. They're opening up Title IX Grill. It will be there in the Melrose District on 7th Avenue north of Indian School. And while some men's games will be shown at Title IX, the bar really will focus on women's sports, which, as you know, women's soccer worldwide has just taken off, so it's probably going to be one of the big ones there at the bar. Something that's really important to the owners here, they're both former female athletes.
So far, the response has been overwhelmingly positive. We've had so many women reach out and say that they're excited and they finally and can't wait. And even men, a lot of fathers have been saying that they really want a place for their kids to go, for their young girls to go.
Great name too, Title IX. There are only about a dozen female sports bars in the U.S. Title IX is slated to open around the end of January.